and welcome to your program, Legends of Our Time. On Legends of Our Time, we talk to our heroes. My name is Gifty Eji, and my guest for today is Brigadier General Joseph Nunoo Mensah. Hello, sir. Thank you so much for having us in your home. Madasi. Thank you. So, tell us, you are 83 now.
82 plus.
82
yes.
plus. Why 82 plus?
But don't ask me my date of birth. Because my papa went to school. No, I want to show me date of birth. My Mr. Autobanchi was simple. A market war. What happened was that in them around 1937. I wasn't very sure. But also most of them were to school 1945. I'm very sure about that. And me and 7 other boys and 2 girls. Now was to President School winning by 1945. As I came in and Dr. Donata, we are the only 2 alive from that group.
Okay.
So I knew that I went to school 1945. But I didn't know exactly how old I was.
When you went to school?
When I went to school. When I got my father, said, Papa, I'm going to catch him. Been finding him easy. For fishermen, in those days, birth were given at home. Nobody went to hospital. So nobody recorded the date of birth. I said, whoa, time as I was so in
earthquake.
Needs be in Fabian Nekakra. Only information I had. Now, so I want to research, find out when was that great
earthquake take place?
1939, about 21st June or 26th June 1939. Needs in Fabian. So that takes 1937. Nekakra takes to early.
So when it happened, the earthquake happened, you were around 2 years
and plus.
Okay.
So I guess I was born in early 37. And also most of my mates who had educated parents, who had dates recorded, were around that time. So I wouldn't tell exactly what date. But I know for sure it was 1937.
So that puts you 82 plus, like 82 you said.
Plus.
But honestly, you don't look it. You are too strong for that kind of
I'm
age.
Too strong because
what's your secret?
I don't think evil. You see, my mother and father taught me something about their lives. My mother was the kindest woman, to my mind, in this world.
What did she do?
If you can, my mother at this time, about the gift, it is an there's always food in the house. Always lobsters. It's and I mean, what this time in Winneba, July, fish. It's a banchi. What's fufu? I think there's a wedding every day.
They will feed you before
you
ask
you open
you what brought
he
you
was
to
a very
the family.
kind person. My father was tough, was rugged like a crocodile. I mean, he was a tough man. I'm very tough. So I combine my mother's kindness, my father's toughness.
Discipline.
So that's what I got from my 2 parents. Let me tell you some small story. We are a fisherman in Winneba. My father was a fisherman. All the people in the house, it was a big Prama. Prama is once all the men live in Prama. The wife lives elsewhere. Came to be with their husband in the evening.
Okay.
So they were all men there, a lot of men, all fishermen. So together, men, so you're going to go to school. My mother asked me that, can I do school? I'm a better couple. Can I do school? I said, I'm primary school. So I remember they were crying behind him, and I wanted to go to school. I think I was possessed. So he was forced to take me to school. The school nearest our house was Methodist school. There were 4 schools: Winneba, Methodist, Anglican, Roman Catholic, and AME Zion. The nearest was Methodist school. February in school near Ayama. So luckily for me, the rumor that another school was going to be open in Winneba, Presby School from Switzerland, by a Basel missionary. Obe school, rather about 50 meters from my house, just like the road here, to the school. So I went there. Everybody was his around his neck. Nobody knew his age. He said, what's for one son? First one soon. I don't know how they got to know that. But nobody knew the age. Everybody had his collar around his neck with a blackboard under his armpit.
So did you go to school with the rest of your siblings, or you were
No, I was the only person ever. In the whole group, nobody ever had education.
How many were you? How many
were
siblings?
4.
Okay.
But my father had other brothers. There were 4 men altogether. My father had 4 boys. We were all boys. And all the children in the family, nobody ever went. So
in totality, how many children?
We're talking about maybe 20 children. Okay.
And out of the 20, you were the only one
who
went to school.
Who fought to go to school. I mean, it wasn't
But what did you see before you made that big decision?
God wanted me to achieve something. Look, I go doing things, but why are you doing these things? I think God was preparing you for a mission in your life.
Okay.
We all have to come and leave a legacy
Behind.
to be remembered with. And I believe that God was going to prepare me for something which we will come across very soon. Why I'm saying this.
So in school, did it ever occur to you that someday you might become this big?
I never dreamt. But I remember 1947, I was just in school for 2 years. I had a teacher Manfo, came to my mother, I don't know how, in a market in Winneba. She know Winneba market, continent, and told my mother that he should look after me very well because he had seen some potential in me. I mean, this was poor woman selling fish and plantain and poor fisherman's son. But the man appeared to have seen something in me, you know, and he came to tell my mother that your son, so mother said, what teacher the but I didn't look like anybody who would become anybody because I mean, fishermen, I mean, we were just catching crabs and going to sea and we also funny things.
Having fun.
You know, having fun. Probably coconut, putting plantain and cassava. You know, we used to have a incinerator in Winneba where you burn our rubbish. When the rubbish was burned, we would go and put cassava, put under the ash. It will nicely bake and you go and eat it. I mean, ordinary, simple, rubbish life.
Yeah.
So I never had any dream of any sort that I become somebody. I never even dreamt at all.
So finally, when you went to school, how was school like compared to, you know, go fishing? How was it?
I really loved it, like? But I was fishing. I never gave up fishing.
Okay, you
my house was just like the school here, about 50 meters. So I would go to fish in the morning, come home, and go to school. School was behind me. My school was, I could hear the bell. Not like today where people have to go with their cars to school. I mean, I really, really dread that atmosphere. So I would go to the beach 6 o'clock, go and get my fish, come back, wash, and go to school. So I combined the two for a very long time. I know how to fish. My father was a good fisherman and a good farmer. I farm. I had a big farm at Hacho. You see, this is in your blood. I can never, still, if I could show you where I fish, where I farm, and you will be marveled. Why the Brigadier? If you see holding a cutlass, these things are in us. You don't become somebody by learning to become, it is in your blood. As I said before, I've combined my mother's kindness, my father's strength and courage. So as I developed, I didn't really realize who I was, what I was going to be, and it went on like that. Now let's move a little bit faster. My early childhood. In 1951, the school that I went to, we were moving from one cocoa shed, another cocoa shed, no window. We were like you know, cocoa park in the room. A place called Miller's near Mary Street, the cemetery there. So life was, I think we were joking. In 1950s, we had to go to middle school. In those days, middle school. The school had no middle section, so we had to go to a boarding school, Presbyterian school. There were no sure, Kropong, Saban. These were top schools. So it was a national common entrance. And we sat in Aguna Street. I did very well. Myself, one ACM, he died not about 3 months ago. We just buried him. You know, did well. Another person went to Sabah to continue with a middle school education. Now, the life in Sabah was very, very rough. In fact, I was in Sabah in 1951 when I heard that Nkrumah was coming to Winneba. And I had to run away from school, that exit, because Nkrumah was like a phenomenon, like crowd coming to Jerusalem. Everybody was just and I had to run away. And I came to Winneba.
To go and see him.
To see him.
Okay.
You know, you could Nkrumah was like, when you hear Nkrumah, it's like Christ coming, you know, it was a marvelous feeling. So I came in the morning from Sabah with that exit. If you go to Winneba, I don't know whether if you go to Winneba, the road will branch into a Y. There was a big almond tree in the middle of the Y. And the crowd was like that. I was a little boy, maybe 13, 14 years old. And I climbed the tree, this tree. We climbed to see Nkrumah.
The Zacchaeus kind of.
Like Zacchaeus, you know, exactly. Every time I go to, I remember this incident. I remember Zacchaeus. And Nkrumah came and it was like radiating some aura around him. It was a wonderful
very
man.
charismatic.
Very, very charismatic and full of aura. I mean, as if he's not a human being.
Yeah.
You know, and so you saw the great man. The first I saw Nkrumah 51. Then I went back to school. But I didn't stay in the school for long because Winneba had developed. Winneba was a port. Winneba had running water. Winneba had everything. But this school was village. I mean, you had to wake up 4 o'clock, walk 2 miles to go and fetch water and come back in the jungle without shoes. I mean, it was so rough. So I couldn't take anymore. So I left in Sabah, came back to Winneba Methodist School. Then I completed my school in 1954. Now, most of my mates had gone to secondary school. But if your mother was selling plantain or cassava, how the hell were you going to raise money? So I knew that I wanted to advance, go forward. But under my own steam, I had to go and work. It was a port. I had to go to the port, carry cocoa, cement. I mean, then I became a messenger in a place.
Before you went to the military academy, you did all this?
Long before. I had to have a secondary education, but I couldn't have it. You couldn't go to Achimota and Fancy Pember College and all. You couldn't do that because even if I was clever enough, but money-wise,
the money wasn't there.
So I had to go and work, save every peso. I put all the money in the post office. So in 1955, 56, I said, look, I was 20 years old, you're getting old. So we had to go to school. So I actually paid my own school fees. I can swear. I paid school money I saved. I put all the money in the post office, and for 2 years, I paid my school fees. And why I say that, as if God knew where I should be. The money had run out by the end of 58. And I had a teacher there. About 58, myself, one Mr. Fosu, Ububa. School was in a very bad shape. Ghana Secondary School, Ghana Secondary School. No teachers, no food. My mother would cook a benkwine and fufu and bring it every evening. My friend would cook and eat. It was tough. But we managed to go through it. One day, President Nkrumah brought this woman called Mrs. Gibson to take over the school because we wrote a letter to him to come and save us, come to Macedonia and help us. As, people wrote to Paul. So this woman came to the school, a very tough little woman, very tough. She came either Siasanto or Pember College. Nkrumah brought her, took over the school. She came to my handle. I mean, she had to change the school. They were angry with her, so she was fighting of her safety. So I had to go and stay in the night in her bungalow, in the living room. I was a burden, but I want to.
Why?
Because I was very tough. I mean, I was very tough. I was brave. Look, intelligent, very, very tough. Very tough. If you work with me, but we have 2 hours of a company. I'm 34 and 12. I mean, I'm still very tough. So she just liked me. So I was staying and over the night, and then go back to boarding school to do my studies. One day, holidays. But the woman just called me. When my money for school fee had run out, she called me one day. I could never understand how that happened. And she asked me a question, Mr. Nunoo Mensah, who pays your school fees? As if somebody had told her that my school fees had run out. This is a wonderful world. And I said to her, my mother paid my school fees. Your mother? What does she do? And I said, she sells foodstuffs. She don't remember very well at the market. I said, what? And she paid the school fees selling cassava plantain. She didn't believe me. Then she said to me, this was Saturday, Monday morning, bring your mother to my house. Your holidays then. And I'll take you to Accra and get you a scholarship. I'm quoting you.
Wow.
I'm telling you. And this was it's amazing.
Yeah.
How did she know that I was going to be hard up with money? How did she know? God, somebody has spoken.
Divine intervention.
No, I'll come and give another example. See, this world, we are not here for nothing. We are here for a purpose.
Yeah.
We are here for a purpose. We don't come and say, I'm going to eat, drink, appetition, and die. No. You have a role to play.
Exactly.
God put you here for a reason. And God wanted to put me in a place where I can perform the whatever job He's going to give me. That's why she made sure the woman, Monday morning, I want to tell my mother, that's why
when we were coming to Accra, I was like traveling abroad.
No, I mean, I don't know Accra. It was terrible. I mean, it was
your first time in Accra.
First time, very frightening. And we drove to Accra, to the Ghana Education Trust. Somewhere in Kokomemi, then they moved from there. And then the woman, she's a very tough woman. She parked the car and walked upstairs. And I knew that this woman, whatever she wanted, she would get it because she was very tough. And Nkrumah didn't like employing weaklings.
Okay.
Nkrumah liked tough people. No, Nkrumah was a tough man. So with that woman, there was Hannah Wright. Hannah Wright was a woman pilot. She was a pilot to Hitler during the Second World War. Nkrumah brought her here, training Ghanaians how to fly.
Okay.
So this woman went up there. My mother and I were in the car there for more than 2 hours. I know that she would never come back unless she got what she wanted. And then, lo and behold, she came back holding a paper in hand. Told my mother in English, Mom, your son will no longer pay school fees. He'll be given full scholarship. And I told my mother in a Futu language, this very sentence she uttered. My mother knelt down and thanked you. Down on the floor. I mean, this is a I still remember
very grateful.
and she drove us back to Accra. This woman, I don't know who told her, and it must be a divine intervention.
Yeah.
You know, and as we go along, something again happened in my life, so that God wanted me to do something. So when later on I ended up doing all kinds of things, as if I was possessed. I wake up 3 o'clock. You talk about O'Reilly and so on. O'Reilly's in high school.
We'll talk about
you come to that, but this is how I was,
Yeah.
you know. So my life then of course she didn't stay for long. Nkrumah brought her to come and do the changeover, restore the school to a government assistant school, to a private school with many problems. Teachers will come next month, they will leave. I mean, so it was terrible. How you managed to pass the examination? It was a terrible situation.
So she stabilized it.
She stabilized it and she left. Then a gentleman came, Dr. P.K. Foley, also came, a French scholar, to become headmaster by 59. You know, I left school in 1960. The school normally was 5 years. I took 3.5 years to do my secondary education. 3.5 years. In my time,
How did you do it?
how did I do it? So, see, you have to see, when I was a messenger in this, before I started my secondary education, when I'm not being sent, I was doing algebra, doing geometry, doing Latin.
So you were learning.
I was learning. I knew that I had to struggle. I knew that I had to push myself forward. I knew I had to
Is
want
it
to be
because you
somebody.
came from a very humble
A
background?
very humble, a very poor background. I had to struggle. Today, our young people don't want to struggle. They don't want to struggle. They want to become somebody, but without struggle. There's no success without sweat. You got to sweat. So when I went to secondary school, frankly, I knew algebra, equations, and algebra, you know, Pythagorean theorem. I knew all of them. So we didn't have teachers. I was always ahead of the class. In 1960, the exam used to be in December, but it was changed to June. So we lost 6 months. So I'm going to have four years. Then 6 months taken. I actually had 3 years, six months. And you go and check the record. I was the first ever to graduate with a grade 1 certificate. You know, and it was sheer hard work
And determination.
and
to go
determination
to
to
school.
succeed.
At this point, we'll take our first break. But I learned you can sing very well. So give us a line or two, and then we'll take the break.
Line off.
Yeah, sing for us.
There are 2 bridges. One the bridge on the River Kwai. River Kwai was in Burma. Ghanaians would get served in Burma. They were building a bridge, and the Japanese would come and bomb the bridge. They were singing the song. Ta 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 da 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 da. Then I'm marching.
We'll talk about the military where we come from the break.
Thank you very much.
General. So let's hold your fire.
I'll hold my fire. Thank you.
You're watching Legends of Our Time on GBC News, and our guest today is Brigadier General Joseph Nunoo Mensah. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk Legends of Our Time on GBC News. My name is Gifty AJ, and my guest for today is Brigadier General Nunoo Mensah. Brigadier. So, after completing senior high school,
Yes,
you finally joined the Ghana Military Academy somewhere in 1960.
that's correct.
What accounted for this decision to join the military?
When I was growing up, there were a lot of soldiers in my environment, in my family. So it wasn't new to me at all to be in the military. In 1960, before we left the school, Nkrumah wanted the military to for the first time to have Ghanaians taken off for the British Army officers. So people came from the academy to the schools to convince us the army was a good life. So you should make the army a career. I didn't occur to me. I had to go to a sixth form and then go to university, become a university. But I found that if you couldn't pay your school fees in secondary school, how are you going to again manage your university life? So take the route and go to the army. So I quickly, about 19, I have letters which we won't be able to see them. But Kran, who died not long ago, about 1960, they wrote to us. I was corresponding with them. Then we came to Accra. There were lots of young people from Hachimota and Francis Pym, St. Augustine's, and Pempe College, name it, all of them. At the Southern College, African others, we came from there. So it was a big competition. And coming from this school, without teachers, but I had courage, moral courage. I believe in myself. Ghanaians, we don't believe in ourselves. Come on, believe in yourself. That you can do it. If white man can do it, I can do it. Gomez said he wanted to make Ghana equal to the white man. The black man can manage his own affairs. Yes. So I believe that I could meet the best and be the best. So we came to Burma Camp. You know Burma Camp, Burma Hall. Now it's been rebuilt now. Crowd of young people across the country came there for 1 week. They tested in English language, mathematics. They went to physical, went to teach you, jumping river, climbing hill. I mean, test your mental and physical strength. And I was picked among the whole lot.
How many of you were selected?
50. To start out in 1960, October 1960, October the 1st. The following year, Britain, everybody was eager to go to Britain. I mean, it was a dream to go to Britain. Sandhurst is the biggest military college in the world. Fantastic. And there were white men who were training us. So you couldn't go and see somebody who was a minister of state or who was a cousin. You were selected on your merit. Exactly on your merit. Captain Mensah, Major Stones, I can remember their names. And I was picked among the group with 3 others. The late Roger Felly, I don't know if you remember his name. He was killed in 1979. Kenneth Felly. He was my mates. Myself, Felly, Akwensivi, and Mefetu. 2 are dead. 2 of us are alive today. And when they went to academy, about 1961, they had to pick just 4. Go to Sandhurst, and and they picked me among the lot. I was an ordinary O-level child. There were people from sixth form, people from good, better schools. Yeah. In France, from Achimota, I mean, we the best school. I had no to be teachers, but you have to prove yourself. You have to prove yourself. It doesn't matter your background. It didn't matter where you came from. Just I believe in myself. And Sandhurst, there's a picture there. I ended up my training 2 years later as the best overseas officer cadet of the whole. It's a big school. Within the Commonwealth, the whole British Empire, I was adjudged to be the best officer cadet in that group. Wow. And there's quite an achievement. So when you go to the military academy, what kind of brief do they give you? I wish everybody would go to the army. I mean, I wish all of you, because the army makes you, make you a human being. Mentally, intellectually, physically. You can, I build this house here. I can do anything. I'm a farmer. I'm a builder. I build O'Reilly, all these schools. I build them. When I go there, you see me lifting block, putting a level, putting the chalk, and moving around. I say, come on, you're smart. We need that attitude to move this country forward. So there, what exactly do they tell you that is able to shape your mindset? The army will tell you something in theory. Then you go to the field and practice. Here in Ghana, you go to Legon, go and read law, whatever. You can't say I'm a lawyer. Lawyer what? You have to put into practice what you're going to learn. If you don't practice what you're going to learn. But they go to court to defend cases. Yeah, I mean, I was taught to shoot and kill. Be paid for killing, but I built this house. The army teaches you to believe, to do anything. Okay. I built this house. I'm not a builder. I built O'Reilly. I moved O'Reilly all the way down. I built a block there in Sabah, Konyaku, the Rampo, Goodeba Secondary School, a police station. I built them. I don't know whether anybody knows Konyaku. I built a police station. I mean, you won't believe. I began to see myself as superior. There were things that I shouldn't be doing. Even today at 82, things I do, you won't believe it. So don't think that you are young, too young, or you're a woman. Woman what? There's nothing. There's this perception that the army is more disciplined as compared to the other security agencies. What makes it so? It's a tradition. It's a tradition. The army has been disciplined for years. Not only here. I've been in India, 1 year in India, New Delhi. I've been in Britain. I was in Canada, first ever to go to Canada. The current Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, his father was Prime Minister then, Pierre Trudeau. I was in Canada then. That's where I married my wife, and then 4 days I left and went to Canada. So she joined me about 6 months later. So that gives you this international image. I was in India. I mean, they were tough. I was in Russia. They were tough. Nkrumah exposed us to the world outside to be tough. So the army doesn't know forgiveness. I mean, there are rules. When you go wrong, today, in Ghana today, what happened? People go to, there's a by-election at Ayawaso West Wogon. What happened? You want to beat people there. You couldn't do that in the army. There's no way you could do it.
So currently we know.
No, but the point is that we talk about the army. The army, they will punish you. In Ghana here, we have laws. When you go against the laws, you should be punished. You are driving to red lights, killing people. There's no punishment. That must stop. We have a society which should be disciplined. Otherwise, nothing will work in Ghana. Otherwise, the country will collapse. If the army doesn't have that discipline to punish you when you go wrong, that will not be the army. I don't know when I've ever been late in the military. If I'm going somewhere in the morning, I won't sleep the whole night because the fear of being late and the consequence of being late was suicidal. So that thing should come to Ghana. A few years ago, we went and played football in Brazil. What happened? Blasters said they won't play. But the mama had to fly money to go and share it to them. Come on, too happy in my time.
They should all come home.
You are going to play for Ghana. I am going for Ghana. If you go back to Nkrumah's time, Ohinijan Stadium, don't know Ohinijan. Baba Yara, you don't know what Baba Yara, you don't know who Baba Yara was. These were disciplined people. These played their hearts out to make Ghana what Ghana used to be. Now you go say if they don't pay, you won't play football.
Come home.
Go and replace them. If they pay 100-0, let be 100-0. No, let's love this country.
You know, of course, being a security expert, currently we are challenged when it comes to security. From where you sit, what would you recommend?
You cannot have security if our people, first of all, who are unemployed. Look, we have a lot of problems in this country here. You have graduates who go to university, get degrees, can't find job.
There's even a graduate unemployment association.
Plenty of them. Plenty of them. Before I came, I went to airport area. Young men on the street, they're selling. When I see them, I don't want to be, I want to weep. I mean, I can see the desperation in them. I can see the sadness in their faces. Are you saying we cannot do anything about it?
Yeah, that's what I'm
asking. Of course we can do something about it.
What should we do? What should we do?
If I could get
because we have cases of vigilantism.
Yes.
We have cases of kidnapping.
Yes.
And other very serious issues.
The reason, because these
How
people,
do we approach these
people
cases?
Have problems. I grew up from my childhood in poverty, so I understand poverty. I had to go and catch crabs between Winneba and Senyabreku at the beach, catching crabs to sell, to become a poverty for defense staff. It's not easy, but our leaders have to roll their sleeves up and say if you people should go and we should be saying follow me, don't say go and weed. You follow me. Don't drive in Land Cruisers with air conditioning. It's I should go and weed. Who should go and weed? Go and weed with me. We should have leaders who know, understand leadership. You lead by example. Second World War, I'm a bit of history. A man called was in Churchill. I'm sure I read Churchill's name. Churchill was in the college I went to. You see General, you see Montgomery, you see Slade. These were fantastic human beings. The Prime Minister was there. Hitler declared war on Europe and overran France. Prime Minister was removed from power. Chamberlain. Churchill became Prime Minister. And he gave a speech in the House of Commons. 6th of June 1940. We will never surrender. We will fight the Germans in the air, fight the Germans on the seas, we fight the Germans anyway. And the world turned around. We need leaders who are tough. I get sad as an African. I get sad. Let me tell you something. 2 days ago, a Kenyan plane was flying from Nairobi to London. You know what happened? Somebody smuggled himself into where the ties go. He managed to scoot into the place there. The duck went inside there to escape to Europe. Poor him. When the plane takes off, he'll be frozen like it will be hard. I've lived in Canada where when it gets cold, the water becomes like this. The sea becomes like this. And up there, it freezes. He was dead. The plane was going to land in London, tried to open the thing for the ties to land. Then a body dropped in somebody's garden. African. An African. What the hell are our leaders doing? They were elected to come and enjoy themselves. Well, that's not why you elected them. To come and change Africa, make Africa a better place.
Okay. And
they can do it. Tell me they can do it. I believe in myself. I've trained in India. I've been in Canada. I've been to Russia. I proved better than them. We can do it. Don't just sit down there and say we cannot do it and let the Koreans and whatnot pass us and go. We can do it. So I'm angry. They are failing us.
Don't be. General, finally you passed out of the military academy.
That's right.
And then you joined the Ghana Army. Right. Share with us briefly your experience
briefly,
in the Ghana
Army.
Army.
I qualified in Britain. Admiral Mountbatten, you have heard his name, Uncle of the Queen, was the revealing of the fantasy parade. I came to Ghana and was sent to Takoradi, the 1st Battalion, not Takoradi,
Apramdo.
That's right, that's where you based, before you went to Mayon Barracks. So I was there for a very brief period. Then I was selected to come to Accra and join the military intelligence. Sent to Russia and then Nkrumah time, sent to Russia, spent 6 months in Russia, and came back. So my line in the military is mainly towards security and intelligence. That's where I'm strongest. Though I'm an infantry officer, one of those who you see on their feet. But they use both their legs, more their broad than their heads. Now I've been told to use more of my head, than my physical, though I'm physically quite strong. So this is where I went, and it's been like that until Nkrumah overthrown 66. Then it's been difficult. Sometimes you look like you want to resign, but
why
in
does it dawn on you to do that?
First of all, 64. See, we talk about courage. Courage is not something that you can walk through fire, so you are courageous. No, to be able to speak your mind, say what you believe in, you have to have courage. Ghanaians are not courageous at all. we can't talk. Every something is wrong, you can't open your mouth and say.
You know the description for us, Yapasim Shrasem. We want to say it at the same time we are afraid. If
Why
I said
afraid?
it,
you only die once. Don't die 2 times. I've gone through hell, but I'm not afraid to speak my mind. 64, 65, something happened, and the Nkrumah got so angry that my boss at that time couldn't go to Nkrumah and explain to him how that happened. So he called me to go to Dr. Nkrumah's office at Flagstaff. Today you call it Jubilee House.
Jubilee House.
And I was taken there to explain to Nkrumah what I had done. And so I said, look, if you are angry with Nkrumah is angry with you, what's the future? But the worst of all was in 1966, when Nkrumah was overthrown. I was a captain in the army with the military intelligence. There's somebody called General Hamidu. I don't know whether anybody knows General Hamidu. He was ahead of me. He had gone to Britain to study there. So I was actually acting for him. I had to take some very difficult decisions. So, General Kotoka, a bit of a history. A letter that was critical of him, which I had written, the top military command, I gave him a copy. Like I'm going to criticize you, and then I give you a copy. That's what you do in the military. You write a report, and then you say, Gifty this and that. Gifty doesn't come. But then you give Gifty a copy so that she can have
she knows what
exactly
you've written about her.
You. That needs courage. So the day after the coup, after the 25th of February, Kotoka called me. The letter he wrote to me, why did you write it? And so on. No. This coup is not a small matter. Removing Nkrumah, the shooting, the killing, it's not something you joke with.
You saw it.
I was there, I saw everything. So when the your boss is angry with you over that, means you have no future. I explained to him clearly what I did. I don't have any evil mind. As I gave it to you, so that you know what is being said about you. He said, go. But throughout the whole year, you come across things like that, which shakes your confidence, shakes you a little bit. But you have your courage. Give another incident, 1977, in Achampon. Poor you, none of you know all this I'm saying. I'm telling you about history. None of you. Achampon, I knew Achampon very well. He took power from Brigadier in 1972. 77. If you know what's going on in Sudan, what happened in Sudan happened in Ghana. They removed Abashir. Military don't know what they are doing with the power. And now today I hear they've got some agreement with the civilians. In our time, we thought the time had come for military to go back to barracks and hand over power to civilian government. Elections had been held. Dr. Liman, again, history to you. He had been elected, waiting to be sworn in. But before then, we actually removed our champion. When I say we, I was chief of staff. So the military, hierarchy, myself, Yanakufo, Odati Wellington, Boachi, all these characters were my colleagues. We were ready to hand over power to the civilian government and go back to barracks. Okay, but before we could, finish it, June 4th came. A terrible thing. Very terrible thing. Yesterday I was sitting with General with President Rawlings next week, just like here, just yesterday. You know, we still we've been.
And what happened during June 4th?
June 4th was a terrible thing. I mean,
what accounted for it, and what really happened?
See, this is why we should be careful in Ghana here. When people are unhappy, I can see. If you were to walk in the street there selling dog chain, selling, you know that you may not even sell one. Where are you going to see? What are you going to eat? There are many guys who sleep on the street. Plenty of them. I see with my eyes. Go to Makola. What my mother sold plantain, sold cassava, but not in the way I see it today. It's so miserable. So there's a lot of anger in people. June 4th was,
and that caused it.
What was the explosion of anger, and they blame it on the leadership. So God, first of all, General Odetta Wellington was shot that very day at Dima Police Station. Then later on, about 26th of June, Achampong and Utuka were shot at the Teshi range. Then later on, General Kufu, these were fantastic officers. Fantastic. But see, when anger comes, if you've seen anger, you shouldn't let people get angry, because people lose their senses when they get angry. They can kill you without knowing they've killed you. In Liberia, in Ceylon, they were cutting children's hands off. One short sleeve or long sleeve. A baby, they cut what the baby done. But people behave like animals. So don't let us go there. You should be careful not to go there. The anger will make people behave like animals. When I go to crucify Jesus, Pontius Pilate asked him, what should I do with you? I see nothing wrong with this man. I said, crucify him. Crucify him. They were shouting. To crucify, you take him, do whatever you want to do with him. It's in the Bible. So when people get angry, out of frustration, they can do all kinds of horrible things. So I'm saying that our governments must wake up. Don't push the young people to corner where they cannot do anything. It's terrible. This man who smuggled himself from Nairobi to London. Ghanaians, I've seen Ghanaians die in Libya. A few years ago in the Gambia. Ghanaians were going the third runaway to Europe. The Germans got them and shot them. I don't know whether you are aware about this. Killed them. I think they were mercenaries. They were not mercenaries. There's too much suffering going on. That's what can produce an insensitive, animal-like human being, which we don't want it to happen to us these days. That's why these things must be watched very carefully. And if I don't have money, give you, and I have money, I will share the money with you. That is what the quality of life you want to create in Ghana here. Not the question of buying land cruisers and making cacophony of noises on the road there, when people have no food to eat, nowhere to sleep. That's rubbish.
Let's talk about history a bit. So you got the opportunity to work with Kwame Nkrumah and also all the leaders, all the leaders
from Nkrumah. In fact, before Nkrumah, the history is a beautiful thing. Let me go. Before independence.
From your perspective or account, who was the man Kwame Nkrumah?
I've not seen his kind in a modern Ghana. He was voted African leader of the millennium. I mean, Nkrumah, he wasn't a very big man, but he was a man on a mission. When you are on a mission, you don't hear anything. To make the black man be like the white man. Create a new Ghana, a new African. That was Nkrumah. Nkrumah never had a house like this, never had one-bedroom house. When I was traveling with a wife, Madam Fatah Nkrumah, from London, sitting next to me, and the whole flight, 6.5 hours, I asked her on the plane, Madam, are you telling me that Papa didn't give you any house for you? She told me not even one-bedroom house. Meet Fatah Nkrumah, Fatah, Samia, and talk to her. He was a man who loved Ghana more than his children. That's what some of us should be. So if I see your child, I see you. I see my children in you. I don't do a line between my daughter and you. No, to me, I will do what I will do for my daughter. I will do it for you. That's what we are like. Nkrumah was like that. He was a wonderful man. He loved Ghana so much so. By so doing, he created so many enemies around him. He was trying to open the eyes of the black man. We have been enslaved over the years, over centuries. So let Africa must unite. But never understood him, because he was actually working against European interests. I didn't shoot America, didn't shoot the British, didn't shoot anybody. So they maneuvered and got Nkrumah out of the way. We too, we enjoyed taking Nkrumah away, and Ghana has never recovered. I don't believe Ghana will ever recover. So where we were, Nkrumah built so many schools in Ghana, all the schools, your school, the Parliament, he built it. Out of what? But Nkrumah, he left. And since he left, there's a huge gap. Nobody has filled that gap, I'm telling you.
So what do you think some of our leaders are lacking today? Because it looks like, I don't want to, but what do you think
Our leaders are
lacking today? Our leaders are lacking today.
to enjoy, to have a good time. Put it very bluntly. They come. I don't sleep in air conditioning. I don't even put on my fan. In my bed, I don't have air conditioning. I don't even put on the fan and sleep. You have to be very tough to be able to lead and say, "Follow me." Our leaders are not here for fun. They're not here. They should be careful. I said they should be careful.
So what should they do?
We need tough people. See, if you know you're not a leader, don't mess about. Don't go and say I'm a leader. Don't go and get.
But we vote for them.
We have no choice. The problem is that we don't have. If I brought you maize and they're all rotten, I say pick one. You pick one rotten one. There's no choice. That's the problem we have in Ghana. I'll be disappointed with our the Fourth Republic, the NPP NDC. I don't know what you know. I did politics.
Yeah. Member of the NPP and then
NPP,
NDC.
I see the winning by 1996. With Akufo's campaign manager, 1998. I don't know. And it's ugly. I mean, I didn't join politics to make money. No, I mean, I want to leave a legacy so that when I go, Orally, Nunoo Mensah building, Saban, Nunoo Mensah building, Saban, Nunoo Mensah building, Nunoo Mensah this. It's all over the place. That's what I want. Not to come and make money and die. There's too much suffering in Ghana. I don't like it.
So after the military, you went into politics. First the
I
PMDC.
left the army because I resigned. No, actually, it's a long story, but to cut it short. In 1982, the President Williams came to power, overthrew the Man government in December 31st. Then the government was formed. I became member of the government. And one night I got out and said, I was resigning. I left the government, left Ghana for 10 years, 83, 93.
Okay.
I came back and then tried to do politics. I did politics because I felt that I don't believe in the military taking power. It's not our job. You want to go to politics, put your uniform down and be a politician. But I tried it didn't suit me. The kind of mind I had is not what they have in parliament. I was coming to sacrifice, to just die, make a new Ghana. No, but the idea to have a good time. And I'm not here for a good time. So I didn't succeed as a politician. But to be honest with you, our two parties have disappointed me. They are the most educated people we have created. Nkrumah didn't have any. Nkrumah was a graduate. So was Kingsley Ford. I don't remember anybody in that government who had been to university. And they ran Ghana better than we are doing today. They ran Ghana. But you don't need so much education to run Ghana. Our churches didn't have any good education, so much education.
So what do we need to
We need leaders. See, a leader is not somebody who has, because we are going to do law and economics, we're a leader. No, it's not. They are two different things. Because you're academic, doesn't make you a leader. At all. Doesn't make you a leader.
So what are we lacking today? Is it the knowledge or the Ifeanyansa kind of, let me put it that way?
I don't know what's wrong with Africa, but you see, you must have a vision that I'm coming to do something. You don't just come because I want to work, so I go and join the NPP or NDC. I get a minister or something, then I get a Land Cruiser, and they on the road. No, that's what they come in for. But that should be the motivation. I didn't join the army for money. No, I joined because I wanted to do something. I know I have a lot of courage and put myself in a place where I can, put my country make it a little bit better than I found it.
So, General, do you foresee Ghana getting to where you think we should be now?
Not in the present
having
state.
Selfless leaders who are not after our money, but then they just want to serve.
We need to have another party in this country here. Well, see, when we have a problem with NDC, NPP, I think the country belongs to the NPP, the NDC, NPP, NDC, and we are getting nowhere. Are you getting anywhere? You tell me. You want the leader, don't try to be a leader. Don't try to be do politics. You don't go and start making money. Because we have a very short problem to face. These youth who are coming, free secondary education. If we are where are you going from there? Where are you
think
going
it's not a good policy?
Nowhere to go. And I'm frightened. If you look at the population, which there are more than 70 universities, all cannot graduate, without any work to do, it's going to explode. These people have nowhere to do. They're getting frustrated.
So what should we do? What do you
get
propose?
people who be our politicians? Don't get anybody because the NPP NDC. Get someone who look. I'm not putting myself forward, but if you watch, you will know that I'm somebody who believes in doing things, getting things done. Unfortunately, we are not discerning enough to choose the right people. But whatever you are presenting, it's not good enough to my mind. It's not good enough.
So why did you initially join the NDC and then to the NPP, you know, you've been going back and forth.
Exactly, because I want a better Ghana. I didn't come in because I want to power. No, I want to make an. You know why I joined the politics? Before, when I came back from Britain, I used to get angry with the way we behave in Parliament. And my wife used to say, look, because we are in Sekasa, you nobody here to. So you get in there if you want to do something. That's why I saw Parliament in Winneba. As I wanted to go to Parliament to really get my views forward. People know what I'm thinking about. But if you're in the house, like we are talking here, nobody hears you. Let's get a proper democracy. If anybody says something which is against you, don't take it personal. Take it that you want a better Ghana. You know, and call the person and say, look, you know, you said this.
Why did you say
What
that?
do you say? What do you think can be done? Like you're asking me, what should you do? You know, but you see, we are not getting anywhere. It is very serious where we are today in terms of food. And I'm telling you, it's terrible. When you go to all the shops, you go to any of these supermarkets, while and whatnot, it's all imported. And you can't buy it. You can't. When I achieve a different stuff, before you come in, I was getting 1,200 OCDs. 12 pesos was my pay. I can swear. This house cost me 5,000 cedis, 50 pesos, to pay 50 pesos. This house here. I'm telling you, our money has collapsed. There's no value. You admit it. The money is useless. It is useless. The property here was bought for 35,000 cedis. 250 pesos was part of one coconut. It's part of this house here. The whole property. So what do you think our money? Our money is useless. So because we don't work, nobody is producing anything.
You know, before I take my second break, I love this your statement. If the kitchen is too hot for you, how did you say it, General?
No, what happened was that in 2012, I was exhausted. I've been building schools here in Mori, going to the Rampong, in Saban, Konyakun. Then I was going to build O'Reilly High School. O'Reilly was in a terrible state. I'd never been there before. They were behind the cathedral at Salem Down. I had to pass there. Then by chance, I really had a problem that they were going to close the school down. Because the building they were using was being taken from them. Government was paying $5,000. They were $15,000 a month. So I said, how can you close down the school? So I called the Minister for Education, the late Leo Okran. Lee, also, you know, so you have to close down the school. They close down the school then. I mean, how? We need more schools, not less schools. So I tried to find out what can be done.
Yeah.
So I went there. I was this very cold. I like this cold. I've worked for so many years now. And went to my secretaries. I was going to cold in the heat. I mean, tough life. So I called the owner. I said, I want the school for O'Reilly. He said, what do you mean? I said, then I put my check. I put my personal check. I said, I can give you advance for the government. So when I pay you, return my money to me. I'm serious. It was Friday. I said, Monday morning, I want the keys. I got the keys. I went to O'Reilly. And I began to work. And
how much did you pay them? The check? How much was
No, he didn't take the money.
Okay.
He gave me the keys. So I went there. The school had been almost closed down. Children were sitting at the place there. So I didn't sleep more than 4 hours. 10, 11. But I was awake. I couldn't sleep again. For fear that I would oversleep. So I'll get up, cook for the workers. There was nobody. I'll cook the kitchen. I know how to cook. Cook the stew, cook lunch, cook the breakfast, bread, quick oats and milk. And pack them in my car. By 5, I left to go to Raleigh. I was actually stressed out. I was tired. I was working. This school is not mine. I mean, why are you killing yourself? But like I said before, like God wanted to do something.
Yeah.
I couldn't stop doing it. That very week, then I think they were on strike, teachers, doctors, and whatnot. They got this triple spine. What do you call it?
Single spine.
Single spine. But you have got 3 times your pay, and you are making noise. I'm not getting. And I said, look, I am dying for Ghana. Tomorrow I will go. When I go, I want to remember that I also played my role. So they come to join me, build a better Ghana. If you think you cannot stay in Ghana, so what for you? Get your passport and
get out. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk more. The program is Legends of Our Time, and my guest today is Brigadier General Nunoo Mensah. My name is Gifty Ej. We'll take another break. When we come back, the man is still here. There's more fight. Watching Legends of Our Time on GBC News. My name is Gifty AJ, and my guest for today is Brigadier General Nunoo Mensah. Brigadier, now let's talk about your awards, nuclear family, and anything you want to share with us.
Well, I'm not somebody who actually boasts of his achievement. Let society judge you. If I walk in town right now, Osu, Makola, General, not because I've done something bad, but because of my exploits in doing good to mankind. As I said before, I don't like suffering. Because of my mother's kindness, it's right in me. So if I have money, one city gives you, we will share the money. That's what I want Ghanaians to be like, to be kind, to be toward each other, to love each other. Not just make money and enjoy yourself alone with your money. No, don't do that.
So far you've built about four schools?
Now, in terms of schools, I mean, I don't know whether you know Winneba Secondary School.
I know Winneba Secondary.
I had a Japanese grant, but the building there is about 200 students. Nunoo Mensah House. How many people in Ghana before me or right now, in their form in alma mater, be able to do something like this? Nobody. You ask me about my children. I've got 3 children. That's why not more. Everything I did, I planned it. As if I had 4 children. Why the other one going to sit on my lap driving or what? So 3 children. And I think anything you do in life, do it well. You know, and everything I do, if you give me a job to do, I'll do it better than doing it for myself. I want you to appreciate what I've done for you. So the Ghanaians are too selfish. Don't be selfish.
General, what's your perception about life?
Life, we are here for a reason, for a purpose. You may not know exactly why you are. You don't think you are here for nothing.
We have to wrap up, but then finally, what you've spoken a lot, but what will be your final word in terms of lessons you'd want to share with us? It could be advice, it could be anything.
Yeah. I want young people to be more involved in the future of this country. They are too sitting back. If you look at Europe today, look at the people who are running Europe today. Look at Macron. Macron was less than 40, president of France. Irish prime minister is 39 or something. Australia leader, 37. Young people are sitting down. I have no future. At 82, I have no future. My future is now. I finished. You who are coming, take charge of your future and mold Ghana the way you want it. I want to see more young people get involved in their future, because the future doesn't look very nice to me. It doesn't look frightening to me. You drive in the night, see people in the open. It's not right. It's not that we cannot do it. We can do. This is what I believe. We can do something about it. We are not determined enough to do something about it. So let's get more involved in our future. I'm talking about young people. I appeal to young people. I'm not going to go to. I mean, you are the brains behind, with all the vision, with all the ideas. You young people, come out.
So finally, briefly, General Nunoo Mensah, how do you want to be remembered?
As a patriot, somebody who lived and died for his country. I am here to leave a small mark. The world is a stage, and all the men and women are mere players. Who said this? William Shakespeare. They exist in the entrance. One man, his time plays many parts. They play a part. I've been a soldier, I've been a teacher, I've been a farmer, I've been a politician, fisherman, everything. A builder.
Engineer.
Everything. That's what
General Nunoo Mensah, thank you so much for having us in your home. We are grateful for this interview, and we say, are you cool?
Thank you.
You're really a hero, and we are so proud of you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
God bless us all. Amen.
Anyway, your program has been Legends of Our Time on GBC News. My guest today has been General Nunoo Mensah, Brigadier. My name is Gifty AJ. Thank you so much for watching. We'll come your way same time next week. Till then, bye.